Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
20 years, actor Danny Glover tried desperately to get a movie about the Haitian Revolution made in Hollywood. He went to every major studio. He went to studios in Europe, and he was denied funding at every turn. And the reason they gave was that there were no white heroes in the story, so they weren't going to make it. The Hollywood mandate that every big-budget movie made for a general audience must have at least one sympathetic white character for white audiences to identify with has been around forever, since the beginning of Hollywood. When I think about movies like The Green Book, you've got The Help, 12 Years a Slave, Amistad. I mean, the list goes on and on. Even Black Panther has this character who is a CIA agent but is in favor of black liberation. Like, ridiculous. I really enjoyed Hidden Figures. I think it's a great movie, but this guy, played by Kevin Costner, he never existed. They made him up for the movie. Everybody else is based on a real person, but not him. So that whole scene where he goes and smashes the sign, the white-only sign on the bathroom, never happened.
We made it up. It never happened. This one was invented by a writer.
It's all there to make white people like me feel slightly better about the history of racism in this country. We can sort of self-insert. We can go, oh, I would have done that too.
No more white restrooms.
There's a cardinal rule in any system that is white identified, and that is that you are never allowed to make white people feel uncomfortable in relation to their own whiteness. That is not allowed. I think it was James Baldwin who once said that being white means never having to think about it. And in Hollywood, if you make a movie about black liberation that doesn't include a sympathetic white character, it might make white audiences feel a little bit uncomfortable about their whiteness. They might leave the theater having to self-reflect on our own history in this country.
Can't we just, for one night, just all be family?
It's incredibly, shockingly rare to have a movie that is made for a general audience that's about race or racism, but doesn't include a sympathetic white character. And that's one of the reasons why Sinners was such a big deal. There's no sympathetic white hero in this movie at all, and yet it did really well. But you can count on your hands, like the number of movies that do that. You've got Get Out, Moonlight, Sorry to Bother You. I mean, there are very, very few. And the truth is that being made to feel uncomfortable in relation to white supremacy is a really important thing for white folks like me. Like, being made to feel uncomfortable is a critical step in learning how to challenge those systems, how to become anti-racist. It's a story for another day, but I will personally be eternally grateful for all the folks in my life who dared to make me feel uncomfortable. It wasn't their job, but they showed incredible grace and patience, and I'm a better person today because I was made to feel uncomfortable back then. So we need more movies that...
And for the most evil invention in the world contest, I invented a child molesting robot.
Nerderotic.com.
I'm here to tell you I understand what the filmmaker was trying to say with the film Cuties.
All right, you assholes.
Hello and welcome to the Shillcast. It's just me shilling so far. I'm going to have a couple other shills showing up, I believe. I don't see any messages updating me otherwise. So yeah, should have a couple other shills here. Yeah, this is not a way you behave at a stream, man. Like, I've never seen you before and you just show up and you're fucking acting like a toddler. Don't do that. This guy must hate himself. Are you talking about the guy in the video? You talking about the guy in the video that was like talking about racism and stuff? It's weird to me that people feel like you can't. I don't know. There's some kind of weird thing going on where it's like, oh, it's good and beneficial for me to recognize, how the harms of racism and systemic racism in this country and elsewhere in the past. That's not the same thing as taking on all that guilt for yourself and then hating yourself for it. Like, that's a really emotionally immature way to look at it. You kind of have to be a little bit of a child to see it that way, but nonetheless, yeah, we're gonna be talking about some Robert Meyer Burnet, man. I don't know if you guys have ever looked at his Twitter, but holy shit, that guy is a vile fucking scumbag, dude. Why is my shit so bouncy right now? That's weird. What's the deal with the bouncy? No, I would not. No, I would not recommend that for that purpose. Or maybe that's the one by that's the one that's who wrote it and drew it, right? The one that's weird and like doesn't make any sense and it's kind of just nonsense, right? I don't know. You can chat on whichever one you like, man. It will show up. I think it should show up. If it's if you're on a channel that is playing this stream, it should show up. If not, you know, let me know. What up, Reggie? What up, CJH? What up, everybody? How y'all doing? So what else? Let's see. We got oh yeah, we're gonna talk about some Daredevil Born Again, I think. And then apparently there's a new Planet of the Apes movie announced. Did somebody say that? Is that real? Is that a real thing? Not a sequel, so you're optimistically nervous. Yeah. Okay. Well, interestingly enough, they've never actually. Well, I guess they kind of did reboot it. But I mean, you could kind of look at all of the Planet of the Apes movies as taking place without negating the other ones. Because like, yeah, we can get into another time. Actually, subscribe to Bob of the Old Ways because he likes talking about Planet of the Apes a lot. So he'll probably be covering that. But what else did we have? We got motherfucking Star Wars. The sequels, are they retcon? Are they going to be retconned out of history? Out of just yeeted from the timeline? Is that going to happen? Is that really going to happen, guys? I don't know. There's no way to know if that's a real thing or not. No, I mean, it's not going to happen, obviously, but it's worth discussing why that would be something that is being claimed, right? So there's that thumbnail. Get the other ones here so we can have a visual of what we're going to be looking at. That'll kill some time as well. This is a quick one that, we could probably look at this before anybody gets on because it's not really, maybe it's, no, there's probably discussion to be had with this one. I just saw that. I was like, really, man? Anti-choice invincible AI slopaganda, really? Y'all doing this to us? People are really mad. For a spoiler alert for Invincible, by the way. But some people, I'm guessing they were conservatives, were pretty upset about the whole Eve had an abortion because Mark wasn't around or whatever. It happens. Abortions happen. Yeah, people do them. They have that right. It's weird to get upside. Like, it's this fucking weird thing that some dudes have, conservative chud dudes. They're like, that's my seed. You had no right to get rid of it or something. It's fucking weird. Grow up, guys. Abortion, it just happens. I'm gonna abort this path of discussion until anybody else joins me and can take the fall with me. Let's see what else we got. Oh yeah, this one. This motherfucker is vile, dude. He's skated. I know we've covered him one time, and it was kind of based on the premise that we let him skate a lot. But he skates because he's a fucking coward. That's what I've realized. I did enough fucking research to know for sure this motherfucker is a chud. Except he's too much of a coward to talk about it in his content. He fucking goes on Twitter and he goes on just disgusting fucking, genocidal Zionist fucking tirades and shit. And then, well, I'll get the visual aid for this next part so you guys can see what I'm saying here. Yeah, here we go. Then he hangs out with people like Gary and what's funny is Chris Gore and him and Robert Meyer Burnet, not here whether he has a beard, but usually they both look like an old grandma to me. They just kind of look like grandmas. Speaking of old grandmas, Bob.
Oh, I see what you did there. I see. Well, I mean, I am. Actually, I'm not even sure what to take that up. But yes, I am here.
Kind of way. I literally just said a thing as a segue to introduce.
That's very segued. Did we just find out Robert Meyer Burnet might be a chud?
No, I mean, I was just saying we covered him one time before where we talked about how he's very chud adjacent in some of his takes and stuff, but I don't remember what we ended up deciding for sure. But like, I did research this time, And I was very, very confident that you would agree with me as well, that he's just a chud who's actually, he's worse than a chud because he's too much of a coward to actually say the shit, openly. He'll still shit on Star Trek for, I got a visual image for that too. For certain things, but he won't just come out and call it woke or anything like that. He'll try to, create some sense of it's a real criticism thing when it's not. It's just him fucking being a chud.
Yeah. I mean, there's lots of chuds like that.
But he skated for a long time. That's the thing that pisses me off.
Oh yeah.
Not that one. Wait, where'd it go? This one. So this is him on Instagram. In the wake of Dune, Foundation, and any other science fiction franchise which explores a universe over a millennia from now, is this how I'm supposed to believe a Klingon dresses while enrolled in Starfleet Academy in the 32nd century? Regardless of how this character personally identifies, I just don't believe he dressed like this, like he's going shopping at the Sherman Oaks Galleria. Blah blah blah. And like, is this overtly transphobic or anything like? No, I mean, kind of. I mean, I guess in the sense that like if you don't care how somebody identifies and you're just gonna misgender them or whatever, it's a character, But the thing is that whenever you have a platform like this and you say this kind of thing on a regular basis, guess what kind of people you are cultivating in your audience?
Ooh, I can guess.
You gotta go ahead.
Oh,
are they good people?
Probably not. Probably dickheads.
He boasts of how great. Oh yeah, he had Brian. That's right. He had Bryan Singer on not that long ago. Since the allegations. That's fucking wild. That like, I don't know, man. It's crazy. Who we got? Here we go. The real guy's here now. Get you get the. Hey, what's up, Brian?
Hey, okay.
How you doing?
What are you doing? Yeah, I'm good.
Just looking at some Robert Meyer Burnet stuff. What's your experience with him?
Weird guy. Sort of. It's like he's trying to keep one foot in each camp.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's the thing. It's like, in a weird way, I'd almost hand it to Nerdrotic or something for just like, look, man, he doesn't really hide it anymore anyway. A lot of these guys have just come out and shown who they are. Whereas, like, come on, it's 2026, man. Are you fucking, stand by these things that you believe in, right? What about you, Bob? Have you ever seen anything chuddy from him?
I mean, not a whole lot outside of what we cover on the Shillcast, but yeah, I mean, it is interesting because, like, the weird thing is he will go on John Campia's show and just have like normal fucking takes.
So that's what I was.
Yeah.
I was looking at Reddit. There's so many people that complain about this. They're like, it's weird how he will not say anything that kind of alludes to what he thinks on the Campia show, almost as if Campia told him not to.
Yeah.
So it's like he's doing that and he's keeping things to himself, but then he goes elsewhere and says, the other shit. Like, I got some takes, guys. These are the gross ones. These really upset me. Islamophobia is a made-up word. They're no longer allowing women to attend school in Afghanistan. I don't see you living in Islamic country. The hypocrisy is strong in you. Islam is a religion of gender apartheid. Defend that. He's a Zionist like a motherfucker, and like the worst. Like I don't think I've ever really seen somebody be so gleeful. Like, these people that defend Israel's actions and their genocide and stuff, they will find a way to defend it where they're not like, they kind of just are like implicitly endorsing it instead of overtly just like rah rah rah, let's kill some brown people. And that's kind of what his vibe is he just wants to see Muslims get blown up or something.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that is the vibe of a lot of Zionists.
Is it? Okay.
It really vibes like that. Really.
Well, I mean, he seems just kind of extra. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Let me show you these other ones here. I mean, just flat out, this second part of this one right here is no, not that one. This one. So Israel gave Gaza back to the Palestinians in 2005. They did nothing with it except export terror. 20 years is enough. They lose. And then there's no genocide and got like, dude.
I'm glad he can just ignore reality like that. Cool. It must be helpful.
He went on a drunken rant and low-key threatened Matt Jarbo a few years ago. I wish someone downloaded that stream. Oh yeah, I remember him telling me about it. I think that he might have. Did he tell us about it whenever? Because he came on at the end of the stream that last time that we mentioned Burnet like 2 years ago or whatever. Jarbo, and I think he might have told us about it.
That seems vaguely familiar. I mean, I remember a few years ago when you just posted something like, I think like you were doing like the CHUD trading cards or something, and you posted something. Brian Burnet felt the need to chime in and defend the good honor of fucking Nerdrotic and shit. And it's like, what the fuck's wrong with you, bro?
Yeah, I mean, Nerdrotic doesn't even try to defend his own honor because he knows he doesn't have any.
No, he doesn't. He is a sold out piece of shit.
When he has tried to defend it, like when he made that video directly to you, he just straight up admits that he's grifting.
Yep.
You know, and I just, it's just gross, man. Like, I don't know. I started kind of wondering, I started looking more into Campia as well to see like, what's his deal. I've kind of come away from that thinking that, you know, I used to be kind of just passive on Campia, neutral, thinking, you know, I disagree with him a lot, but otherwise I haven't seen anything, you know, overly shitty from him. But I mean, I think just having this dude on all the time, and he certainly knows about the things he says. You know, I don't know. I just think that's kind of shitty.
Yeah, it is. Well, I mean Campia has lots of bad takes, so
I get the impression that Burnet is what used to be a sort of a quiet conservative. So he works in the adjacent media business and is a conservative, but isn't willing to go as far as Nerdrotic and those types, or not even as far as Chris Gore. But he wants to still be in that gang.
But he will say stuff like, if their true goal is to rule the world, what then? A planet devolving because of first cousin marriages? What would the Muslim Brotherhood actually do with the world? No science, no art, no education, no technology. They have no vision at all. Like,
I mean, just that's the sort of uninformed conservative take, though, that I would expect from somebody who is a quiet conservative who doesn't actually think about what he's saying, because there's plenty of cousin marriage going on in the US that has nothing to do with being Muslim. Also, to say that Muslims haven't given us art, science,
when they literally invented the shit, and when it comes to what math and science, basically.
Yeah. I mean, they have done quite a lot of art and science, weirdly enough. So yeah, it's just, yeah, I don't know. He's like I said, he's a weird guy.
It is weird. So I mean, I've looked in a little bit, you know, I've looked into it. Apparently he is Jewish, and I didn't know that. Doesn't really change anything, but what I found out that he's Jewish, but he was adopted into a Jewish family. And I don't know, you know, if I'm going to be myself and how I normally do, and just maybe take things a little bit too far with my analysis, speculate, I'm like, oh, I wonder if he's like performing this, you know, overly performing so that he makes sure that he's, you know, cool with the tribe, right? Like that his family sees him as, I don't know, some kind of, because, you know, adopted people can be a little bit much sometimes. Sometimes I'm not throwing them all under the bus, but I mean, you know, it makes sense as a psychological thing. Like, oh, I want to make sure that I'm accepted and not, you know, don't kick me out of the family or whatever, because I was adopted. Yeah, that was just a half-baked thought that I was working on. But you fired Eric, so he has no weekly.
Yeah, why did you fire Eric?
Well, because you talk too much, man. And Bob, if you keep fucking running your mouth, you know.
True.
I actually love you at this point on Factual Facts, man. It was like, I was birth mother was Jewish as well. Okay, fair enough. So yeah, ixnay on my stupid thing I said. I actually love you, man. You show up and you legitimately say the funniest shit possible at this point. I don't even think that you're actually like are against us. I think you're on our side. Thank you. You're cool.
Always entertaining comments. I will give him that.
I mean, never mind the fact that literally me and Eric screamed like 2 nights ago together. But because I fired him, you know, I hired him.
Definitely fired him. Yeah.
Imagine thinking we make enough money to hire somebody or fire them or whatever. That's fucking crazy.
Actually, you know, it's kind of weird for us to just assume they're directing it at us. Like, Ryan, did you fire Eric?
He's not answering. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course I did.
Oh shit. Oh, it comes out.
Said you're not allowed to stream with us ever again or stream on your own. You especially can't stream with Dane on like Monday nights ever. And he stuck to that. So
yeah. Just
All
don't
right.
double check. Just don't.
Now that we got that out of the way, talking about Burnet, I just wanted to, make it clear that he's a CHUD. That's it. So I'm gonna probably maybe come back around to talking about him again in the future. I'm gonna keep an eye on his fucking ass. The other things that he tends to do is like with basically every Trek since 2009, but especially the Discovery and beyond, he's just gone out of his way to criticize any kind of the gay characters that exist or whatever. Like that's not what it's supposed to be about. And it's like I don't fucking comprehend how somebody can claim to be and he actually does know things about Star Trek. I believe that he's a fan, but like to fucking cheerlead for Gaza genocide and then also just like, oh, shouldn't include gay people in Star Trek. Like I don't get, there's some kind of fucking disconnect there. I'm just not understanding.
Well, it's not like Star Trek has always been about like diversity or inclusion, and doesn't even have a slogan about infinite diversity and infinite combinations. Yeah,
I guess he decided that like, well, we reached infinite already, and now we're going beyond that, right? Which means he doesn't.
I didn't know that. we passed infinite already.
For free, what? Okay, so I love you guys, but firstly, Islam started around the 5th century AD, and I'm pretty sure paths and art were around before then. Secondly, paths. Despite his Twitter, Robert Meyer is very much a liberal. I mean, okay, but he's still a CHUD.
I don't think any of us claimed that Islam invented art.
Interesting. You know what he is? That's interesting.
I did. Yeah, they totally did.
He is a CHUD, but not a grifter about it. I guess I could say that in his favor. Is in on the other side of the coin of him not making his views very known. He doesn't use his fucking shitty views, or he kind of does, but not as overtly as like Gary or whatever. So it's weird. He's like a CHUD, but he's not a CHUD grifter. It's weird.
So I question the fact that he's a liberal because how many liberals appear on Friday Night Tights ever?
Right. I mean,
have ever?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's some that just like they're obviously all like going for the MAGA audience, and they're all part of that. So that's what they court. That being said, part of grifting is being full of shit. I mean,
yeah, he's a Zionist, and it would be one thing if he was, it would be much easier to just say he's a liberal, but he's also got, he's a Zionist liberal because those do exist.
Yeah.
If it was just that, and there are a lot of Islamophobic liberals who.
But what he does that really gives it away is he's also, seemingly a pretty anti-LGBTQ anything. He's also a regular guest on Friday Night Tights and posts. I think as Bob said, he showed up defending him, Gary, one time, and it's like, at that point, especially in the year of our Lord 2026, if you are going on that show, you have to understand what it is they're about. I just don't believe anybody's is dumb enough to not to think that they're actually impartial and in the middle of things and they're just regular fans or whatever. No way. So yeah, I think he's a conservative for sure. He's a CHUD, regardless. He had a gay what? That's crazy. I don't know if I believe that. Yeah, exactly. You're the company you keep, man. Simple as that. I mean, and they CHUDs love to say things like, "Oh, guilt by association." It's like, yeah, kind of. At this point, it's at least you may not be as guilty as the person that's overtly terrible, but regularly hanging out with them is a implicit endorsement of that person, and then it's also normalizing that person, and yeah. And it just says that I don't want to fucking be around you or give you any of my attention in a positive sense.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it's funny watching MAGA people like figure out, since this bullshit war kicked off that, oh, Iran's not actually just like a bunch of guys living in caves. Holy shit.
Yeah.
They could fight.
Yeah, we did have a peace deal with them under Obama. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah. And there's literally no way where, even no matter what deal he ends up making, if he can make one, there's no way they're ever going to get anything better now than what Obama.
No.
So, let's get that bunker, guys. We got to get that bunker, that ballroom made. Did you guys see the video I was showing at the beginning of the stream beforehand?
No, I missed it.
Nope.
It's kind of a mind-blowing thing that, like, I'd never realized this shit, but I want to get y'all's take on it.
See a moving walkway in a movie. Or
Oh, my bad. This one.
Danny Glover tried desperately to get a movie about the Haitian Revolution made in Hollywood. He went to every major studio. He went to studios in Europe, and he was denied funding at every turn. And the reason they gave was that there were no white heroes in the story, so they weren't going to make it. The Hollywood mandate that every big-budget movie made for a general audience must have at least one sympathetic white character for white audiences to identify with has been around forever, since the...
So right there, just to be, critical as I would be with anything else, I had never heard of this mandate before. So to me, I'm like, is that real? I don't want to just take it at face value or that this guy's word that it's real. Ryan, do you know anything about it?
I've never heard of it being a strict mandate, and I'd be kind of surprised. But then
whenever you start thinking about it and he starts listing the movies and you really start, it's like, if it's not a explicit mandate, it seems to be an implicit one.
Yeah, it might absolutely be an implicit one. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm thinking realistically, the two up until Sinners, I guess, which
you mentioned, that's why it was one of the reasons it was such a big deal.
Yeah, the only two other sort of major Hollywood movies that are predominantly black, either in the cast and also in terms of the writing, would be Black Panther, which has Martin Freeman in it as the sympathetic white character.
You mentioned the CIA agent who's like for Black liberation, which is kind of fucking.
The only thing I would say is a potential exception is Coming to America, which does have Louis, I forget his name, the guy who plays the fry cook who went on to present.
Oh, Louis Anderson. He has like a
Louis Anderson.
That. He has like
yeah. He's the only white character in that film.
Is he?
With more than.
I don't remember. Might be.
I can remember this being something that my brother pointed out to me while we were watching it. He'd already seen it, but like the first time I watched it, he said, "There's no." He's the only white character.
Wiz. I don't know.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not going to respond to anything else from this person, and if they say anything else dumb, mods, do your thing. But like, holy shit, do you actually think that this is a valid thing? Do you actually think that, even if this is true, I don't know, that because someone's pansexual, that you just, and they're 60, that like, I can't criticize the shitty things that he says all the time, Like, that's not the way it works, man. And if you think it is, then I know you aren't actually somebody who gives a shit about any of this stuff, and you're just being a fucking disingenuous concern troll. So, good job. Yeah, he mentions a couple of movies, and it's like, it kind of shocked me to think about that. I hadn't noticed that, and of course, it's because I'm fucking white, so I don't think about what doesn't. Whenever I'm seeing people looking like me, it's like, oh, things are normal. And
yeah, I mean, like I said, the only mainstream Hollywood exception I can think of is Coming to America.
Oh, yeah.
But beginning of Hollywood. I'm going to think about movies like The Green Book. You've got The Help, 12 Years a Slave, Amistad. I mean, the list goes on and on. Even Black Panther has this character who is a CIA agent, but is in favor of black liberation. Like, ridiculous. I really enjoyed Hidden Figures. I think it's a great movie, but this guy, played by Kevin Costner, he never existed. They made him up for the movie. Everybody else is based on a real person, but not him. So that whole scene where he goes and smashes the sign, the white-only sign on the bathroom, never happened.
We made it up. It never happened. This one was invented by a writer.
It's all there to make white people like me feel slightly better about the history of racism in this country. We can sort of self-insert, and we can go, oh, I would have done that too.
No more white restrooms.
There's a cardinal rule in any system that is white identified, and that is that you are never allowed to make white people feel uncomfortable in relation to their own whiteness. That is not allowed. I think it was James Baldwin who once said that being white means never having to think about it. And in Hollywood, if you make a movie about black liberation that doesn't include a sympathetic white character, it might make white audiences feel a little bit uncomfortable about their whiteness. They might leave the theater having to self-reflect on our own history in this country.
Can't we just, for one night, just all be family?
It's incredibly, shockingly rare to have a movie that is made for a general audience, that's about race or racism, but doesn't include a sympathetic white character. And that's one of the reasons why Sinners was such a big deal. There's no sympathetic white hero in this movie at all, and yet it did really well. But you can count on your hands, like the number of movies that do that. You've got Get Out, Moonlight, Sorry to Bother You. I mean, there are very, very few. And the truth is that being made to feel uncomfortable in relation to white supremacy is a really important thing for white folks like me. Like, being made to feel uncomfortable is a critical step in learning how to challenge those systems, how to become anti-racist. It's a story for another day, but I will personally be eternally grateful for all the folks in my life who dared to make me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. So,
Damn, that was interesting. Yeah.
Right. Somebody, whenever I showed at the beginning, somebody that was in chat, I don't think they've said anything else since then, said, "Oh, this guy must hate himself." And I'm just like, is that what you take from this? Like, to think that to criticize your own, or not criticize you, but like just understand that you have a bias and try to see, things beyond that bias, that's somehow hating yourself. It's fucking weird.
Yeah, I mean that's a really bizarre way to take that, because the whole, and also the point is just having a more realistic idea of the world, like just understanding what you're watching and all that. Like, that's what it's about. Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, at no point did he criticize any of those films that had done that. He was just pointing it out. No way did he say that Hidden Figures was worse because of the made-up Kevin Costner character, or that Black Panther was somehow worse because it's got the Martin Freeman character. He's just pointing it out and saying this is something that exists, and it's weird.
It is weird, and I never even thought about that he's the only white, primary character, and he's also CIA, and he's also like, that feels a little bit like weird, in that context. But there's another video.
What's even weirder though is that we don't think of any of those as diversity hires, whereas perhaps we should.
That's what I'm saying. That was generally the premise behind me showing this, is like, look at all this fucking just forced diversity, or forced lack of diversity. Wait, forced whiteness. I don't know. And it's like, that has been propping up the way that movies have been made for forever, and informing how people understand race in movies, so to the point where whenever eventually there started to be a few more people of color and stuff behind the camera and in front of it stuff, you get these fucking chuds grifting, and people that actually believe the stuff, they're not even grifting, they actually legit think these are arguments, that they're things that they chud say is somehow convincing. Somebody asked earlier about that. Do I think where's it at? Do you ever worry about the next generation and how radicalized by YouTube chuds they are now? This might continue for a while, at least until the generation. I mean, I don't worry about it anymore, honestly, because it's not healthy to worry about something that you can't change. To a certain extent, these guys, maybe not the same literal guys, but guys like Gary and whoever, they're going to be around probably the rest of our lives. We're not going to legislate them out of existence. The only thing that might happen, hopefully, is it just isn't as profitable to continue to do it, which actually it seems like that's definitely been happening. With all,
I think that's going to. The reason I don't worry about the next generation is that Gen Z and Gen Alpha, they're not listening to people like Gary and Will Jordan, because these are old men giving opinions. To them, I mean, they're kind of around our generation, but they're not speaking to the next two generations. Would you, when you were like 18, be watching a YouTube channel where guys in their 40s talked about how great films from the 60s were?
No, but I mean, there's definitely going to be some, exceptions to that, like Ranting for Vengeance. Of course, he's
well, But I mean, he is so comical that I think even his audience is probably guys in their 50s. Weird guys in their 50s who was like, yeah, you stick it to them, weird Irish kid with your Nazi father.
Got recommended a CHUD channel today about Daredevil Born Again. There's been quite a bit of chuddery going on about that show. Wonder why. You guys seen the finale yet?
Yeah.
No, I just started episode 6. So, but yeah. Yeah, I have no idea what Chuds could be talking about with that series.
I can't believe Doctor Strange turned up and erased everybody's memories.
Right.
Again.
Spoilers!
Oh, sorry.
I thought it was weird that Flash was in it. I don't even know they, whatever. They don't even
Well,
care
I knew
anymore.
that one. I knew
I found this. So this channel, I'm not going to show him because he's got 5,000 subscribers, but he seems to be getting somewhat decentish views for 5,000 subs, and he's making, CHUD content. The Boys season 5 is woke garbage from 2 days ago. Sinners is trash. Has 9.7 thousand views, but that was a year ago. But still, that's the sign of this thing going to continue limping along, probably with smaller, stature.
Oh yeah,
channels.
Yeah, and I think that's what he's going to do. He's going to continue to limp along. I mean, the fact that he's using the word woke in a non-ironic way, and young people do not appropriate the language of their elders.
Yep.
I mean, so I think that's again, that's appealing to an audience of our generation, which...
Whoa. Sorry. I just saw that on the Metallica YouTube channel 9 hours ago, a video was uploaded with a guy unboxing the new Reload Remastered Deluxe box set. And the guy is Jason Newsted.
Oh, that is curious.
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome. I'm glad their relationship is good now with the band and stuff, but like, holy shit, that's cool.
Yeah.
Save that for later. Watch some of that. I'm one of those weirdos that actually thinks that Load and Reload are some of the best Metallica.
I don't know if I would say it's some of the best, but I do think it's overhated. I don't think they really started doing crap until Saint Anger.
Yeah, and then they kind of course corrected for the most part after that too.
But yeah.
Except for the mastering issue on that album after that was a whole ass mess.
Well, I hear that the reason the mastering was so bad on that is because they let a puppet do it.
Because what?
They let the puppets do
it. God damn it. That's good. All right. White character. Yeah. Even though I'm an Asian American, I recall being brainwashed teen in grade school where I watched Rosewood in one of my classes. I was happy that Michael Rooker's character was the only white character. What?
The only good white character.
Oh, I see.
Michael Rooker played a good guy?
Yeah, really? Like, is that possible?
What?
I don't think he had that range.
I know he's capable of playing a good guy who's blue, and even that's not like great.
Jason is from Gull Lake, Michigan. He used to come to our record store in Kalamazoo. My managers knew him, and he was always nice. Yeah, he seems like. I mean, he legitimately seems like a nice guy, and it sucks that the other guys spent, I don't know how many years was he in the band. That many years fucking taking out their grief and abusing the shit out of him. Apparently, they really fucking fucked with him a lot and never really let up.
He does have a mean resting face, though.
He does. He's got that face that's just like, oh God, are you okay, man? You gonna kill me? But yeah. Oh, that's awesome, dude. Hell yeah. Recorded a Reload song. Which Reload song? I can play probably like 3 or 4 songs off of that album, and then a couple off of Load. I basically play probably a song off of every album except for the last couple because I haven't tried, and then nothing off of Kill 'Em All, and yeah, but everything else. I learned my guitar chops on Metallica. That's the way to do it. I got another video from that other guy, by the way, Pop Culture Detective, I think is what he's called. It's also very good, but we'll watch it later. Right now, I suppose we'll look at some well, we can't talk about Daredevil specifically, but we can talk about Star Wars is a thing, right?
Wait, there's a War of Stars?
Apparently so.
Oh shit!
Stars are going for each other. It's weird.
You can't talk about obscure movies around me. I'm not gonna get it right.
So here's a very reliable source telling us the rumor is to remove Star Wars sequel trilogy from the timeline to resume focus on original characters. I don't know if anybody's told them that, you know, those characters, the actors are very old now. One of them's not even alive anymore. If true,
and one of them hates the franchise.
Get out of here! You're fired. Go away, Eric. God, man, you can't come back on these premises after you've been fired. Come on.
I'm kind of confused when he says original characters here. Does he mean like the classic characters, or does he mean like new characters? Because usually when you say original characters, you mean new characters.
I don't know.
What do you mean new characters? What do you mean new characters? Either they're the original characters.
Yeah, and then this quote, just this floating quote with no attribution whatsoever. It's on a rumor, and then you got a quote that you don't even say, who the fuck is this? If true, this would be one of the most dramatic. It's not true, though. It's just not true.
I mean, this seems like kind of like the thing where at the end of Lower Deck season 5, where we see like all these different realities pop up, and the Chuds tried to use that as a reason to say that Discovery was no longer canon. And it's like, no, that's not what that's saying at all. But this seems even thinner than that, and that was fucking
apparently
from
a guy that I fired. Sorry, go ahead, Ryan.
I've heard a rumor that Disney is planning to remove all the Star Wars films and remake them all as costume dramas set in the 1800s. So, if true, that would be one of the most dramatic franchise shifts in modern Hollywood history. If true,
I heard Disney was going to, just basically give away all of their money and become, like I don't know, anarchist, communist, wokeists, like, but really, like for real, and then Bob Iger's gonna sacrifice himself on the altar to gods, and if true, this would be like kind of one of the biggest shifts. Blah 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 blah. So we got this other stuff that popped up within a day or so of me. Go ahead.
But are we still on the Star Wars thing? Because I have more to add.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
All right, so I went to the Geeks and Gamers website to try to figure out what the fuck
they combined with critic list to become the most awesome, terrible, failing echo chamber ever.
Oh yeah. So here I got here. No, I can't add it.
Fuck yeah.
Okay.
Fucking chaos, man.
Geeks and Gamers website. Rumor: Disney to remove Star Wars sequel trilogy from the timeline to resume focus on original characters. So my immediate thought is, okay, what's their source on this? I scroll down. According to an exclusive report from That Park Place's WDW Pro.
Oh, straight up fucking grifter chud. Cool.
Yeah, this is the grifter fucking pipeline bullshit. Disney executives reportedly ready to reset Star Wars and splinter the sequel trilogy. In a
they're going to put a giant talking rat in it.
What?
It says they're going to splinter the sequel trilogy. They're going to add a giant talking rat.
Yeah, for sure.
That would be a dramatic shift. So where does this?
So this is apparently the quote they're basing it off of. When asked about Star Wars, the teens didn't debate storylines, characters, or upcoming films. Said the conversation was brief and dismissive. I like the old stuff, but the new stuff, nah. I'm not too excited for Mandalorian. I never watched it personally, said one teen. What?
That's supposed to form the claim? That's supposed to support the claim that's being made?
Yes, apparently.
Can you go back up? Can you go back up a bit? Just the next paragraph is fascinating. Another didn't even bother sugarcoating it. Anything that came out after I was born isn't that great. So a opinion of at least 50% of the Star Wars fandom from the beginning.
Yeah.
Because how many people of our generation born sort of after Empire
do I need to go dig my files and find that screenshot or that scan of that old fan newsletter that somebody started putting out after the first film, and then whenever Empire came out, they fucking put out one they announcing like, regrettably, we are not doing this anymore because this Empire Strikes Back film is not the Star Wars that we know.
Specifically, I remember a specific quote in that: "The franchise or Star Wars is dead."
Yeah, whatever it was that was magical or whatever about the first one, George Lucas decided not to do any of that or something, something along those lines. It's fucking bizarre to read. But they seemed really earnest about it, which is probably the difference between them and a lot of these chuds.
So I mean, part of it also seems based upon the reports that the pre-ticket sales aren't as big as they expected. That being said, there's been lots of movies that don't do amazing on pre-ticket sales and still fucking knock it out the box office.
Man, I'm not looking forward to it, but I kind of just don't care yet about, like, I feel like I'm not going to go to the theater to see it. And so if it, I totally anticipate it's not going to do as well as a regular Star Wars at all. And I've seen being
it's got a lot going against it. I mean, for a start, it's a spin-off from a 3-season TV series that not everybody watched, and so if you haven't watched it, you're going to feel like you can't go into it knowing what's going on. Secondly, I know they've kind of gone for this model on purpose, where it's a spin-off from a TV series, but in reality, spin-off films from TV series never do well throughout history. I can't think of one that has succeeded.
This is from
Star Trek.
Polygon. Ahead of the film's premiere on the 22nd, Disney invited a handful of journalists to watch the first 15 minutes of Mandalorian and Grogu at IMAX headquarters in Los Angeles. Polygon was part of that group, making me one of the first people not employed by Lucasfilm to see anything beyond the trailers. While it was exciting to see Din Djarin and Grogu on this big screen, my first impression of the film is that it feels more like a Star Wars video game or a Netflix show than the blockbuster movie that's going to return Star Wars to its former glory. Mando commandeers a two-legged AT-ST walker and Grogu hops on. The camera pans down to reveal several AT-AT walkers below. It looks like an establishing shot in a video game, and not just because the entire thing was likely created in Unreal Engine. Favreau points the camera purposely at upcoming enemies and the path our heroes will have to take to reach them. All that's missing is a spinning autosave icon. While most of the footage I saw looked fine, if a little heavy on the CGI, this last exchange was particularly dull. Favreau shoots it in the same portrait mode style framing as so many Netflix shows, with each character practically speaking to the camera against a blurry background that recreates the feeling of a Zoom meeting. That's mildly annoying when you're watching a mid-budget TV series on Disney Plus. For the first theatrical Star Wars movie in 7 years, it's downright unforgivable. I mean, if I did actually end up seeing it the same way that this person describes it, I would feel the same way about it. I don't know. Maybe it'll just look so cool to me that I won't even think about it. But
I mean, I will. I have plans to see it in theaters. That being said, I will also say it's not as much as I've been wanting to see Star Wars on the big screen for years now. There's plenty of movies I'm more excited for this year. Spider-Man: Brand New Day and Supergirl definitely being among them.
Yep. And I'm starting to get a little bit of hype for Doomsday eventually.
Eventually, yeah. I'm not against Doomsday. I'd say my current hype for Mandalorian Grogu is probably about equal to Doomsday. Wow. Although probably when we're closer to Doomsday, I'll be more hyped for that than
that's what I think.
Because we're pretty close to Mando and Grogu right now, so the fact they're equals not great.
Got some good reviews so far. I mean, people are just saying basically it's the dumb fun you would want it to be, and that's good.
I am kind of semi excited for that one. I do like Carl Urban, and him as Johnny Cage sounds like fun.
So now we're going to pivot to this other thing that might be somewhat informing this. It's definitely part of the whole general conversation. So this was a report from Screen Thrill. The Star Wars sequels never became generational. New data from streaming toy sales focus group polls and online trends suggest younger fans are far more attached to the prequel era, the Clone Wars, and the Mandalorian than Disney's sequel trilogy. While Lucasfilm reportedly hoped Gen Z and Gen Alpha would grow nostalgic for Rey, Kylo Ren, and the sequel films the same way the older generations embraced blah, 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 that emotional connection never fully happened. And then,
I mean, it took like what, like 20 years for the prequels to start getting embraced? Like,
It's at least 15, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
we're 10 years out from the first sequel film, and in 2009, I don't think anybody was prepared to say that Phantom Menace was good at that point. A couple of years after that, yeah. But
Well, also, is if it's even true, if this is even something that's been measured and is that you can say is somewhat accurate, which I kind of doubt to a degree. Is it any wonder that there's been an entire cottage industry that pops up on fucking social media of people who make money telling people these things are terrible, that these sequels, are shit and whatnot? Like, no, it's yeah, they've had an effect. You know what I mean? They literally caused the third film to be shit.
Yeah.
Yes, Disney caused it ultimately. The Lucasfilm did, but like they hadn't figured out yet that these people saying that they hate The Last Jedi aren't all really being. They're not actually fans, or they're not thinking with their fandom first, right?
Yeah, it's almost like trying to capitulate to people who are just making money off outrage. Probably not your best strategy.
well, I've just double checked as well, because something felt funny about that. The way it mentions Gen Alpha. Gen Alpha started is for people born from 2010 to 2024. So anyone born in 2010 would have been 5 when Force Awakens came out, and they'd be 16 now. So of course they haven't embraced it yet. They're not old enough.
I was 15 whenever I liked Star Wars stuff before, but I was 15 whenever the re-releases happened. And that's when I actually consider my like active fandom happening, right? Where I was like,
yeah, and I think that's probably like same here. I'd seen them all as a kid. I mean, they were on TV a lot in that time before Lucas took them off TV, and but I never really understood what was going on most of the time. I think I saw Empire before I saw them out of order. I know that of the first time
they made them out of so
yeah. Yeah, no, I didn't even see 1, 2, and 3 till years after 4, 5, and 6. It was ridiculous. It was
I didn't even know
you watched them wrong then. You would have had no idea who C3PO and R2D2 were. They're ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't know who
Tilly's what?
Sure. Like, who is C2PO, C1PO? Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, it must have come as a real shock to you that Darth Vader was Luke's father, whereas if you watched them in the right order, you would have known that.
Finish the movie, Ryan. What are you talking about?
Wait, what? Spoiler, bro. Spoiler.
I'm about to be, so I'm currently, I actually need to start watching probably tonight with my son. He just turned 11 on, May the 4th, actually. So that's his birthday. It's pretty cool. But he has not, as of yet, gotten into Star Wars. And so I think he's supposed to go with a friend to go watch Mandalorian and Grogu. And so he wanted me to try and get him, caught up on Mandalorian before then. So I don't know. I think I should probably look what episodes are most relevant, maybe, instead of trying to watch the whole thing. But I don't know. I mean, and like also if they're not fans of like the movie sequels, okay, but there's a lot of fans of like the TV shows. You know what I mean? People like the Bad Batch. I've seen that. What is it?
People talk about Rebels a lot.
Yes. And then also, let's not forget that. What was it, like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, or something like that? There was reports that the Acolyte suddenly popped up in the top 10 of streaming on.
Yeah.
The most terrible thing to ever happen ever. Somehow, people were watching it. And then what was it, last Christmas time? I think maybe Christmas before. I don't remember. Where suddenly, The Last Jedi is like the most watched thing all weekend for a weekend. These things. That happens. It's relevant.
Yeah, and also, as well as everything else we've said, I do question the statistics because the TV shows, is this based on minutes watched? Because there's a lot more minutes.
That's what I think it is, actually. I think this is based on minutes watched, which then once you start comparing TV shows and movies and that, you're kind of just, everything's out the window. Like, what are you even doing with yourself? That's why Gary does it intentionally with shit like that, where he's like, look, this new show that has only 5 episodes hasn't even broken the top 10 with all these other Simpsons and Seinfeld and shit like that.
More people are watching Seinfeld than this new show. It's like, yeah. And asking what happened to that Star Wars kids show with Jude Law. It was called Skeleton Crew, and it was totally solid.
It's pretty good. Yeah. Good show, yeah.
It was what basically what it was. What was on the tin? I got what it was advertised. It was Spielbergian, kind of a adventure of some kids, coming of age and doing some Star Wars shit. So
the one thing I kind of appreciate that I kind of assumed the Jude Law character would have some sort of redemption, and no, he's just the villain throughout, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, stick to it. Why not? Pretty cool. That was good. What else has there been? I know. Honestly, I didn't realize until it was over that a lot of people didn't like Boba Fett. I thought it was okay. Parts of it I really liked a lot.
I think if you look at Boba Fett individual episodes, like each individual episode is fine. Problem is, like, they don't spend enough time with Boba Fett and they don't really develop him. He's there, and then they spend an episode and a half just doing Mando stuff, and then it's Boba Fett again.
And suddenly it's a follow-up on what Mandalorian season 2 or whatever.
I mean, it's still miles better than Secret Invasion was.
True. How about we, meaning Disney, don't solely cater to nostalgia junkies and grown-ass dudes who can't let go of their hate of Last Jedi and Hermir Luke. They want Super Saiyan Luke. Yeah, I mean, that's what Morgan, my co-host, we called one time, did a stream talking about Artifice Luke, meaning the version of Luke that a lot of people seem to have in their heads that is not what is depicted in anything. And that's the same, kind of false notion of Luke that people seem really disappointed that he wasn't that in The Last Jedi. And that blinds them from seeing the fucking brilliant writing and the fact that it makes perfect sense that he would be exactly the way he is in that movie.
And the fact that, like, at the end, he does pretty much do that, and it's just unbelievably badass.
He does it, but he also doesn't. So he doesn't.
Yeah.
His new ethics that he's developed, he doesn't fucking go back on those, but he still does it. He does a feat of force shit so fucking great. Oh man, it's awesome.
Yeah, it was a great fucking finale. Yeah.
Here's the thing about that as well, that I think you can tell that the people who complain about that arc are probably not in the age group that likes the prequels. Because if you like the prequels, then you understand that basically Obi-Wan and Yoda go on exactly the same emotional journey as Luke.
Yeah.
Where they're badasses in the beginning, they get defeated, and they go off and become hermits. Which is exactly what Luke does. Luke follows the teachings of his two teachers. He does exactly what they do. And they all still love Yoda and Obi-Wan from the original. So really, they should say, well, why is Yoda just hiding out in the swamp? Why doesn't he come back in Empire and be a badass and save everybody?
So what you're saying is that they should have released the sequels before they released the originals. Because I think that's the true secret. I think
if I was allowed any creative direction over at Lucasfilm, here's what I would greenlight. I would first write it and then I'd greenlight it. It would be a movie about Yoda. And I know I've said this on stream before, but it's an idea I can't get away from. I've said it for years. Movie about Yoda that takes place after the end of Revenge of the Sith, before Empire Strikes Back, and it would be like, it spanned however many years, like almost 20 years basically, and it would kind of show his descent into madness, living on Dagobah by himself, living with the fucking guilt that he didn't see, Palpatine's rise right in front of him. He didn't see it. He missed it, and then also he lost, and lost everything basically, and he's just chilling all alone on a fucking gross ass planet, eating gross ass shit, instead of sitting in his comfy little air conditioned, pod room where he can do meditation and stuff. And he just goes insane to where whenever the first person he sees in all that time shows up, Luke, he's like acting completely out of character. If you think about it, like other than that moment, when you first meet Yoda in Empire, have you ever seen him acting like a fucking jackass that way? He never does, So I think that'd be a pretty interesting, just like a not rated R, but PG-13 kind of a darker movie where it's just, I don't know, he's flashing back and stuff like that.
I mean, that's interesting because it kind of reframes, because I always thought of when we first meet Yoda, I always thought that was kind of him just kind of like testing Luke.
Yes,
how he was acting.
Obviously,
but it kind of reframes it as like he's kind of lost his marbles a little bit, which I think that works too. I think that,
and it, I've been have an idea for a video. I've got some stuff written about it from a couple of years ago about basically Luke, kind of back to the Artifice Luke thing. A lot of people don't realize how close he got to dark side shit. Like when we see him in Return of the Jedi, he was a foot into the dark side. And I
Yeah.
don't, the movie doesn't make it explicit, but it's there if you look for it. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
mean, in Return of the Jedi, in the final battle, like he's kind of letting his anger go until he realizes, like, the fuck am I doing?
like when I was a kid, I remember thinking, seeing him at the beginning of Jedi, where he's like, oh, he's badass now. Look how cool he is. That's what I thought of it. As I got older and look at it now, I'm like, wait a second. He's wearing all black. He's straight up force choking goons. You know what I mean? And then like mind controlling him. What's his name? The fucking with the head thing to do what he wants, and then like kind of goading him at saying like shining him on. Oh, you serve your master well. You'll be greatly rewarded. Like that's some straight up Sith shit. It's brilliant.
The thing is that ultimately, I don't think there's any Star Wars that anybody could make that would please the fans, because the story was told in those 3 movies, and that should realistically that should have been it, because the thing's called Star Wars, so you have to have wars in it. You have to have people fighting each other. So you can't have peace in the galaxy like Return of the Jedi ends. You have to bring back an enemy to fight, otherwise it's not Star Wars.
That's why the criticisms about like the Noose trilogy being like, oh, so just another authoritarian group shows up, and it's like, well, yeah, that's what would have to happen more or less. I mean, there's other things.
Also, that is what happens throughout history. That is what happens. An evil enemy is
defeated. The authoritarians were beaten, and they never showed up again. That's
I mean, even in the novels, it explains, even after Return of the Jedi, it was like essentially explained that the Empire was at like 25% strength, but there's still very much a power to be reckoned with.
I mean, I guess they could do something like the Yuzon Vong, or what it was called. But that would feel very much not like Star Wars, I think, to see live action. But especially if they fucking kill Chewie, fuckers. Anyway, Star Wars is a mess. At this point, I've kind of redefined my relationship to it since the end of Rise of Skywalker as like, I will check stuff out. I don't really get super excited for anything, because that means that I'm setting myself up for if I end up liking it or loving it, I'm pleasantly surprised. Otherwise, I'm just like going into it pretty neutral, really. And in a way, that's a good thing. That's a positive thing, because I don't have, that kind of just like I don't know, unhealthy perspective on it.
I mean, yeah, you really shouldn't have that as close, like at least it's not as close as these CHUDs pretend like they have a connection to these things, so much so that like anything that you view as a deviation is just like, oh God, how dare they? It's like, let the writers do their thing, see what happens. And
this is the fundamental problem with Star Wars, which is it suffered from a problem more than anything else I can think of. But then that has also infected every other sort of franchise now, is that, canon. Everybody talks about canon. I don't care about canon. I really don't.
Canon helps me think about things in a positive, it's like enhances some things while watching or whatever. That's good. Otherwise, I can leave it, take it or leave it,
Yeah, it used to be something I would take much more seriously, but definitely as I've gotten older, I've been like, man, I don't care. Just tell me a good story. I don't.
I think the thing for me is that I mean, and I know you guys did too, grew up in an era where canon was ignored practically in every single franchise. I mean, Evil Dead 2 starts by remaking Evil Dead. Mad Max 2 starts pretty much ignoring a lot of what happened in
all 4 chapters in the Mad Max story kind of ignore each other. You can kind of lightly link together some sort of canon, but like they're all kind of their own thing.
We grew up, we were watching the goddamn Fox X-Men movies where like it seemed like they were to some degree creating their own canon that they were going to stick to, and then they didn't even do that. It's frustrating. Like the most frustrating being at the end of Days of Future Past, when they solved everything. It's like, oh look, we made everything, got all cohesive, and then they said, yeah, let's fuck that off for the next movie too. Allegedly,
I mean, it happened in everything though, didn't it? I mean, TV shows, because they were episodic, stuff would happen that made no sense at all. Things would happen that had already happened. And so if you actually, and this is what nerds used to get teased about. I mean, there's the Simpsons Halloween special with the comic book guy, and people questioning Xena, and she's got that famous line, if it doesn't make sense, a wizard did it. I mean, that sort of obsession with canon was beaten out of me at a very early age, and I'm just like, yeah, tell me a good story.
Have you guys seen this yet? I think I've shown it, but
Lucas's words, not mine. So you if you disagree with me.
Is this the perfect explanation of the Force? And did Freddie Prinze Jr. just spoil all future Star Wars stories?
The Force dictates who wins or loses based on balance. And here's the quick version on how to explain it to all these people who think they get to decide. In the first, if you want to do this like time-wise, Palpatine, you would say, and Yoda are the smartest two. Palpatine clearly smarter because Yoda was blind to the power of the dark side and the seduction of Anakin. So let's talk about the seduction of Anakin Skywalker for a second. If the Emperor is the smartest dude in the universe and knows that the Force dictates this, if he kills who he sees as a rival, Anakin, then he knows the Force is just going to correct that because the Emperor knows this. So instead of killing Anakin, what does he do? He seduces Anakin to double the strength of the dark side. So then what does the Force do? It balances us. How? It gives us twins, Luke and Leia, 2 and 2. Balance. And if you look at the movie through just that simple perspective, you will not only know why every single bad guy loses and every single good guy loses, you'll know who's going to win and lose in the next movies.
yeah, but so my thing with canon is this: if it helps me have more fun with the thing, great. I like it. If it starts to make things not fun, if I get frustrated by it, I just don't fucking care, really. You know what I mean? And it to a degree, it can be negative in the sense that, like, speaking to X-Men movies, setting things up in a way that, like, seems like from movie to movie it's going to matter, and then you actually, you know, connect those two things even though you are connecting other things. That can be very frustrating just because I want you to fucking give me what you seem to promise. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, that's about it on canon. What about Jesse? What's going on with Jesse?
Yeah, Full House. Full House never made it over here, so I can't comment on that. But yeah, TV shows used to do it all the time. Literally.
The thing is, with a lot of this stuff, the status quo is what, whatever the status quo was the thing that got people's attention and started making the money for the thing. And so, you know, to some degree, they're always going to try and stick to that. But
look at The Simpsons. What's the canon for The Simpsons?
I haven't looked at The Simpsons in quite some time, but I think it's basically just the same.
I want to say season 10. Last time I actively watched Simpsons, maybe.
It was probably later than that. Everybody thinks it's season 10, but I think it's probably closer to series 12 or 14. But
no, they're on like season 87 now, right?
Well, yeah. But yeah, this obsession. This obsession with canon that people use as a stick to beat stuff with, I just can't care enough. Who cares what year a trading card said that Ki-Adi-Mundi was born?
Like, and what about an incident like this? So Daredevil Born Again, this is not a spoiler for anything, but it is something to look at. There's apparently people pissed off about this frame right here. There are people that think that this ruins Daredevil Born Again and Daredevil on, you know, in general. Can you see why?
Struggling.
I'll admit I don't see anything. I know.
The comic book in front of Matt Murdock is a Daredevil comic book. Literally, this shot is on screen for like 4 seconds, and it's clearly a fucking, you know, little nod to the fans and nod to it's the Daredevil Born Again, trade, the newer version of the trade paperback.
So
nod to fans, and it's like, really?
Okay, so like if they want to get really upset about, is it not impossible to believe that like Daredevil does exist in this universe?
Right.
Is it not impossible to believe that someone made a comic book based on him?
It's already been established that, you know, there's things like Captain America cards and stuff like that.
And although not in this universe, there's Fantastic Four
I didn't even
cartoon.
think about that, but that is funny. That I mean, it's not funny, but like I can see why you would assume that's what we're.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't her. It's a good character though. It's a pretty solid season. I'll say that without getting any details. I mean, I did put on one of the thumbnails that it's kind of a spoiler, I guess, but I've been wondering where the goddamn hallway fight was this season. You know what I mean? There's one every season. right? Last season, the first season of this show, it was right at the beginning with Bullseye. Pretty brutal, pretty awesome, very emotional. And then I'm just like, maybe they just decided not to do one, but no, they did. They did one. A couple really at one time, but like Fisk got a hallway fight sequence, and it was something else.
I mean, kind of based on what I've seen already, that makes complete sense considering the shit he's going through. The shit.
You don't think it's actually in the episode? Wow. I mean, I honestly I didn't look to check myself. So if you looked and didn't see it, then maybe you're right. I figured it was just it didn't strike me as familiar, so I was like, maybe it's just maybe a 3-second thing or whatever, and it's not meant to be focused on.
Well, whether it is or not, I couldn't care less. You're telling me nobody would have thought of the idea of coming up with a comic book about the superheroes that definitely do exist in this universe?
Right. Yeah, you've literally got. It's been what in story in the canon. It's been like 20 years of superheroes existing, if you don't count Captain America when he was first around and stuff. So since Iron Man, it's been like 20 years or whatever. And yeah, to think the comic books weren't made of these characters, come on, it's really silly. But at the same time, even if that's true, it doesn't make any sense that Matt Murdock would have that sitting in front. I'll say that like for a couple of reasons. One of them should be obvious, but the other one is like that would go towards maybe people will look at that and go, wait, Daredevil, Matt Murdock, kind of look the same.
Unless, of course, one thing we're forgetting is that we don't know if this isn't the same universe that Spaceballs happens in. So,
True.
As far as we know, this could be just him finding out what's happening next. In the same way that Dark Helmet does.
I'm gonna get rid of that guy. Delete that comment. CJH, no spoilers in chat, please. Do not spoil.
Okay.
It just came out.
I got a little distracted because I wasn't sure what season of The Simpsons I gave up on.
Okay.
Looking over it, it looks like I gave up on season 9.
Damn.
Oh wow, you're an early. You did some good episodes. There's some good.
Yeah,
episodes
I'm sure I did. I'm sure they've been recent episodes are good, but I know I've tried giving it chances every once in a while and been like, oh well, that sucked.
That's true. It's actually part of the plot that he finds that comic book in that movie, and yeah. So that's people love to get upset, man, about dumb shit. Speaking of which. Does this mean that it's going to be bad? The finale? I kind of don't know what he means by that. Like, of course, fans retroactively, they're going to look at the whole story, or I mean, even if the good faith fans are going to be like, okay, so how does this ending? How did things build up to it? How did it pay off things that were, you know what I mean? So,
I mean, I do kind of suspect. I know Eric's brought this up too. The guy you guys fired, but. I do kind of suspect there's going to be something that makes it not possible for Gen V to go forward. So something big will happen. I don't know what, though.
Why do you think that?
Because Gen V was canceled. It's just based entirely on that.
Well, I mean, I'm kind of like they made such a big deal of Marie Moreau.
Yeah.
Which they make sure to say her full name every time. And now she hasn't shown up. And it's like, is she going to show up? Are they just going to shoehorn her in at the last minute? Why do they make such a big deal out of it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Although, do we have where this quote came from? Because it just occurred to me that it's a 2-word quote. Well, it might be real, but it might be a bit.
Oh yeah,
recontextualizing it. More importantly, though, Bob, you've never seen the Max Power episode of The Simpsons?
Max Power. That doesn't sound familiar.
You are missing out. You should.
I mean, there's several aspects of the ending of the comic that could still happen exactly that way. Some of the main stuff that is yet to happen, could play that, and even it would even make sense. For example, spoilers for Boys comic. Huey could do the final blow on Butcher. Because that's what Butcher's kind of egging him on to do, even though Hugh doesn't want to do it. That could happen. Who knows?
I'm trying to see if I can figure out where the quote's from.
I never did watch much of that show. I had a girlfriend that loved that show, and we started watching it, and then we broke up, and maybe that's why I didn't watch it anymore.
Yeah. God, I meant to follow up because I saw season 12, and I actually felt like it was kind of like a return to form because they kind of lost their way, kind of season 7, 8-ish. And 12 felt like a return to form. Then I just stopped watching, and I should catch up more because it was getting back to a point where I really enjoyed it. Man.
I mean, for me, season 1 to 6 is gold. Absolute
Yeah.
solid gold. Past that, it's okay. It gets worse, and then it gets better.
Yeah.
But I don't think it ever reaches that height. But interesting fact, which is something that was pointed out, is that Lister has his appendix out twice in that show. So,
well, she had to get both of them taken out.
Well, yeah.
Ruined canon.
Canon's been destroyed. Canon's been.
Bart's been 10 for 35 years. Canon ruined.
Well, they've changed. That's one thing I know they've changed, even though I haven't been keeping up with it recently, is that they've moved it forward so that Homer and Marge were not young in like the 70s now. They were young in the 90s. So
yeah, it's a rolling timeline like Marvel. Rolling time.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, speaking of Amazon Prime shows produced by Seth Rogen from Image Comics. No, Boys isn't Image of Diamond. My bad. This is gross and weird. Like, spoilers for Invincible. So Eve was pregnant.
Mm-hmm. I am caught up with that. So
she did choose to not continue that pregnancy, and there's a lot of upset dudes about it. It's just that kind of thing surprises the shit out of me. I mean, it does at first, and then I'm like, why am I surprised? But every time something like that happens and I see a bunch of dudes just saying the same shit, I'm always like kind of thrown off. Like, really? Oh, I get it. Yeah, because you're a fucking idiot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, she had no idea if Mark was even coming back. So,
right.
Yeah, I don't know what is there to really get upset about.
You feel this ownership over the it's like if you wanted to own it, you shouldn't have shot a load in there or something, you know, like you can have it and do whatever you want with it, but like once you do that, you know.
Okay, so I actually think this adds decent context. So going a little bit back to Eric Kripke, I have the full context quote here.
Okay, we got.
Finally, what excites you most about the final season of The Boys? Excites is the wrong word. What makes me the most anxious about the final season is really hoping that we land the plane. It's super hard to do a finale. Fans will retroactively judge the show based on how they feel about the finale. If we stiff it, they will definitely say, well, that show wasn't as good as we thought it was. And it's almost like you're trying to secure your legacy with these finales. And it's the first finale I've ever done. So it's not like I have any experience with it. So I'm mostly anxious with girding my loins.
So he's kind of not right there, because I was looking into this and I did not watch Supernatural really, but I do know that they did do it was intended to be a finale. I think it was season 5.
Yes.
And then the network chose to continue on without him. So from what I understand, the season 5 finale was actually a very good finale to Supernatural. If it actually,
no, season 5, the main villain was Lucifer, and they defeated Lucifer after that, and they had to come up with villains after that.
So he did do a finale. He just didn't have to deal with the consequences of an actual finale, where it was like literally the last one, which is
that I did think it was a little bit weird that he said that, because it's like, wait, you didn't do anything with Supernatural finales? Because honestly, most of the season finales for Supernatural could serve as a series ender.
What I understand, it limped on after that.
15 fucking years. Holy crap.
But here we go. It's great you've dug this up, because this completely retextualizes that tweet, which was bullshit.
Yeah.
So never listen to quotes that are only 2 words long, because that's not what he's saying here at all. What he's saying is he's nervous because he doesn't know if fans will enjoy the finale.
Mm-hmm.
He's not saying whether it's good or bad. He's saying that he can't possibly judge what people will like or dislike about the finale, and obviously that's something that he should be anxious about.
Yeah,
because if you think, oh yeah, we set the landing, this is brilliant, then that's when you sort of lost touch. So yeah, ridiculous.
You know, this is a topic of fascination for me. I've thought about this quite a bit. The weirdness of finales, and I think that there's more specific things going on with the, you know, subjective things with the given audience member when it comes to a show's finale than maybe some people realize. Because like, there's just such weird division about certain things. You know, there's only a couple of finales that I can think of that actually seem to generally have universal praise. Every other one, for the most part, has very starkly divided opinions.
Yeah, it's honestly the universal praise ones. It's like TNG and Deep Space Nine.
I think Breaking Bad has mostly positive.
The big problem we've got with, and this is not particular to American shows, but it's more prominent in American shows, is that they keep going as long as they're popular for the most part, and so the finale often doesn't ever happen. The show just gets cancelled.
Yeah.
So when shows do get to make a finale, if it's too good, it's not the finale because they'll spin it off. I mean, even with Breaking Bad, they did a prequel film and they did a prequel TV series in that universe.
I will say the prequel film for Breaking Bad was kind of necessary, and I actually really like it.
Do you mean sequel film? Because I can only think of the sequel.
Yes.
Okay.
You're right. But yeah, the and then of course, Better Call Saul is a very good show as well. I don't think a lot of people think it's better. I really don't. I
don't think I would consider it better, but it is very good on its own right. Michael McKean's brilliant in it.
Yeah, but no, the first finale of Futurama is really the best one. But then, of course, the comeback episode when they were like, "We've gone through some kind of comedy channel, Comedy Central." That's just fucking hilarious.
That was hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Dexter, bro. Dexter, come the fuck on. Kidding me? That Dexter shit the bed for like 2 full seasons and then ended in a pile of shit. So that was pretty bad.
I'm hoping to get into Resurrection, but
it's pretty good. I enjoyed it.
You know what? It just kind of frustrated me because the finale of the original series was, I didn't hate it as much as most people, but then they did the finale of New Blood, and I really did kind of fucking hate that.
Thing I don't understand is, when does he get his lab?
It's later on. This is
right.
You know, it takes a while.
That's what's
they'll get there. Don't worry. You gotta be patient, right?
Like, super duper nerdy and like his sister introduced or anything. What's her name? Yeah, I forget.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird to think about that series eventually morphing into a children's show, but it totally does it seamlessly when it gets to it.
The Sopranos intro is perfect. It's absolutely perfect ending for that show.
A lot of people hated it. You can't, like, this is what I think. I don't think, with very few exceptions, I don't think you can end a show well. I think it's better sometimes that it does just get cancelled, because if you, like I said, if you do a brilliant finale, the studio wants more. If you do a subpar finale, it leaves a bit of taste in everybody's mouth.
Well, I think it boils down to, what is the audience member, the viewer, valuing from a show? And I think the best way to look at this, the best example of a show is Lost. Because
yes, I was going to say, yeah, that's the perfect example.
I remember I had a friend that we both loved Lost, and we every once in a while we'd exchange a couple of messages on Facebook about it and stuff. But like, I didn't fully realize until it ended, and we started talking about it in DMs or Facebook messaging that we liked very different things about it, because he hated the finale, and I liked it, and it was like, what the, how the fucking, and it turns out he only really gave a shit about the mystery box. And I long ago had realized that's not really the point. I mean, sometimes that condition's it was a letdown, but I wasn't overall let down by it. It was just like, I understand that really no explanation is going to be fully satisfying if you're actually about the mystery itself, and that's what's intriguing you. The answer is going to kind of be a letdown no matter what it is. But at that point I figured out, no, this is about the characters and their relationships and stuff like that. And then to that end, I feel like it did a pretty good fucking job.
Well, I mean, this is pure speculation, but and the more I think about it, the more I think this can't make sense. But I get the feeling that when they went into Lost, they had a pretty tight structure about how long it was going to go on and how it was going to end. And then obviously that changed when the studio wanted more episodes, and they went on for I think they got an extra 2 seasons that they didn't think they would get based on how successful it was.
Sure, yeah.
But I think from the beginning, I think their plan was always to be that they were dead all along. And immediately people guessed that that's what the ending was going to be. I might be wrong about that, but I just don't think they had an ending thought up when they
even if it was that specific thing. I think what definitely happened was that they started fucking getting cocky early on and kind of challenging the audience to guess what was going on. And then eventually when you have enough people guessing and kind of, then somebody got it. Somebody fucking nailed it. And I can imagine they, in the writer's room, they're looking on the fucking message boards, because that was like the first message board show. And seeing, oh my God, they're guessing what we're going to do. Like, holy shit, what are we going to do?
David here brought up Stargate, and SG-1 totally has a couple of satisfactory endings. Atlantis ends, but the issue, I'll tell you because I was around during that time watching it. The issue of Atlantis is when it ended, all the creators were told that they're going to get a follow-up movie like SG-1 got. So they were planning to resolve lost of the follow-up movie, and then that was also when sci-fi was moving away from actually doing sci-fi stuff.
Right. When they
they told them we're doing a movie, and then they canned it, and then Universe just fucking left dangling.
I started watching Universe not long ago. I never was big on Stargate, but I was like, you know what, this show was very obviously greenlit because of Battlestar Galactica's success.
Oh yeah.
And I was kind of mildly interested in what the whole thing is about, but then I realized halfway through, I'm like, oh wait, this isn't going to get answered. Like a lot of this is just
nope.
Like, okay.
No, Universe had the potential to be like a really cool show as it evolved, but like, yeah, they just shit canned it.
Let's see, where was the I mean, that absolutely perfect 1 season show.
Yep. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
1 season, one and done.
I don't know why you would even talk about other seasons. It was just one and done. It was brilliant.
Just like there's only two movies in the Star Wars sequels trilogy.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll ever make a third one. It's weird.
Yeah, I am looking forward to new Stargate. I'm down for new sci-fi anytime, basically, and I'm always hopeful. More than anything else, I've got this naive optimism that new sci-fi I haven't seen yet, especially if it's something that's going to build a world and establish new ideas and stuff. I get really for that shit. Can't wait for the new Dune movie, because like I really look forward to seeing Paul become the hero that he's meant to be. You know what I mean? And just like yeah, really step up and just become an awesome guy that everybody loves. You know what I'm saying? Save the universe.
Again, that's another film series I don't understand. When does Beetlejuice come into that?
Yeah.
I think he got eaten by one of the sandworms. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Beetlejuice becomes the real hero.
If you stop watching at the end of the Cell Saga, the Dragon Ball Z is pretty damn good ending. Just don't follow Gohan to college. That's all. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some of that in there so explicitly. That's just what. It's right.
No, it's all about the aliens built the pyramids. It's pretty much that's the basis of Stargate. Aliens built the pyramids. Aliens,
a little bit of a racist narrative. You know what I mean? The idea that like, well, these people couldn't have done this on their own.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's a pseudo archaeology theory that's been around forever.
I mean, the thing is with that, it's kind of fine when it's in fiction, because Stargate is not saying that this is what happened. It's just like, this is a fun sci-fi universe. It's when people bring that into the real world and say, oh no, this is what happened. Aliens did help.
Yeah.
Only the sort of non-white different groups around the world improve their technologies. White people improve them all on their own. But all of the other different races of people, they needed alien help. That's where it gets really fucked up.
And the thing that Stargate does explore that I think is kind of fun, the idea that all religions are just con jobs done by aliens to exploit people.
How dare you?
Come on,
got to see.
I just hope.
Do his thing. Sorry.
I just hope the new Stargate isn't woke and they don't try and have a diverse cast where there's like, I don't know, a couple of white guys and then a woman and a black guy. I think that's
God,
too
that'd be
modern.
awful. That'd be awful.
Injecting modern politics into sci-fi is just
It's weird choice.
They'd probably make the woman super smart and a fighter or some shit, and yeah, it'd be ridiculous.
So I kind of want to watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I'm not,
So I saw the first episode. That is fucking bizarre. The title is so fucking accurate.
Right? Like it's this one episode that I remember watching. There was like several things where it's like, are they doing this on purpose? Like this seems not actually gay, but like jokingly gay. Like you know what I mean? I don't know. It's maybe I'm off base there.
I've just seen the first episode, but it is so weird. It's
so real quick. You guys check this business out right here. See if you recognize any of these people.
How many people is that stat based on? Like, how many transgender shooters is that stat based on? Because you cited it. I mean, you didn't cite your source, so I had to go digging for it. So I was curious if you knew.
This is a graph from when?
About 7 months.
Y'all see this yet? I think you have.
Yeah, no, I saw Edgier Than Thou's video on it. Great video. By the way, if you're not subscribed, go check out Edgier Than Thou.
Right.
Great
Like
content.
that it straight up intentionally went to this shit. I don't know if they spent money on it or what. It seems like they might have. I don't know. But like made it a goal to go to this shit for a day and sit there and listen to these fucking guys. I can't even listen to them for like 2 minutes video really. And yeah, and then not only that, but just like get up there and straight up call them liars and expose them for what they are, because it's crazy. They posted these videos on Twitter too. Like
like these were owns, and it's like, are you serious?
and I mean, but I guess to their audience it is. They have to believe Matt Walsh is a good grifter. He's very good. He understands in the moment what I need to do is just say a specific thing that's gonna, trigger the audience to cheer because they hear the right combination of fucking bigotry words, and that'll distract them from the fact that I just got exposed for being a fucking propagandist.
Yep.
I think somebody needs to do the edit where they cut in the clip of Milhouse saying "Say the line, Bart."
Yeah.
Months ago, came up. It was going around on Twitter.
Do I have all the details of a graph that I posted 7 months ago in my head?
No,
right
no,
now?
well, ballpark, just to.
I'm gonna take the most bad faith interpretation of what you're asking me and just like make it really asinine fucking.
Fact is, Matt Walsh was sharing that information. He probably should have a decent idea that it's a good source. Which it isn't
also,
when you're.
Also, at a moment's notice, they could drop something on you and expect you to have intimate working knowledge of whatever it is that they're referring to, or you just don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I wonder if this was dropped on him or not. Daily Wire fires half of its staff in mass layoffs. His co-founder Ben Shapiro has lost 85% of his YouTube audience since last year.
Jesus Christ!
And this is seemingly the timing would suggest, that this is Malachi did it. Edgier Than Thou did this with this.
Yep.
Ownership that happened here.
Yep. Don't fuck with Edgier Than Thou. He will make you fire half your staff.
I believe later on, I'll have to double check and see if this is still the plan, but I think later on tonight, around 7 p.m. PST, me and Edgier Than Thou, and I don't know who else maybe, but are going to be doing a bit of a debate performance review on stream of this whole situation. So that ought to be fun because they did the video talking about, generally how it went down, but like I think they want to actually break down the mechanics of the debate, if you want to call it this, and see what we can learn from it. Good times. Yeah, his eyebrows clearly have taken over and absorbed all of the money, right?
Well, I mean, I do think it was an issue. Ben Shapiro had too thin eyebrows, and thank God he's fixed that.
Yeah.
I wonder if somebody said to him about the fact that he was manscaping. I wonder if that's what caused him to bin the trimmers.
Mm-hmm.
Or if somebody caught him having his brows done in one of those beauticians.
I think they're fake. I think that this is the result of somebody. I don't remember who it was. They said that basically this is what happens when conservatives who are always trying to cut corners and cut costs on services that they pay for, right? Which is true. They're always like, oh, you know, I don't need to pay this much for this guy. I can pay this guy half that. And you know what I mean? That's the kind of thinking they do. And that can lead to something like this if you don't know what the fuck you're doing. And they don't, then the person you're hired doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. Or maybe the person you hired knew exactly what they were doing. That's the case. Good job.
I mean, he's at this point, he's a grease paint mustache and a pair of glasses away from assuming his true form as Groucho Marx. So,
yep. Sam Cedar and Emma and them were fucking laughing at him about this shit. Just in a recent video, in fact, losing all these, 50% of their fucking staff, and then also the fact that he, is a Harvard graduate and he's tried to be a comedy writer. Ben Shapiro tried to be a comedy writer in Hollywood. Like, think about that. Can you imagine him ever saying anything funny that's like a joke that he intentionally wrote instead of just unintentionally funny? I can't.
Yeah, I know. I do. You're just making stuff up now.
I haven't really seen much of Dragon Ball Super, but from what I've seen, I watched there's one movie of it, and I know that the movies are basically, truncated, combined episodes or whatever, but yeah. I'm out of my Dragon Ball phase. That was when I was, 16, 17. I would come home from school and it would be on, and, definitely loved it then, but I have respect for it still, There's that. But yeah, back to this, because you got to see this response. If you haven't seen this, I know you guys have.
I guess you have the answer, so go ahead and tell us.
I do. It's one person. So you cited a per million statistic based on one person as evidence.
So if you're not familiar with the graph, the chart, the bullshit thing that he had shared on Twitter or whatever, it was this, obviously to anybody that knows how to look at data sets, and that it was just a random thing that seemed to be painting most mass shooters of recent years as trans people. Because there's been one, and then every other one almost, the chuds will kind of go out of their way to try and construe it as if it is a trans person. For some reason, yeah, very dishonest, very there's only one reason why you'd share that, and that's because you intentionally, knowingly fucking are trying to paint trans people as crazy mass shooters. There's no other explanation for why you would share this shit as a media figure.
That there's some sort of epidemic of.
I was just going to say, just thinking about what you were saying about doing a sort of debate review, because that's going to be a bit too late for me. The one thing I would say there is, and this is hard to do in the moment, is when Walsh says, you want me to remember something I posted like a graph months ago, I'd say, well, then why did you post it? Something like that.
Yeah.
But then he's come back.
If it was information that you felt was important enough to share, it seems like you would kind of have an idea of what you shared, right? Like, there's something you talk about. He talks about it all the time. This is his main thing. As far as as a non-viewer, that he's really focused on these trans issues. And this is the second time that I'm aware of that he got caught with his fucking pants down about trans statistics. There was the Joe Rogan incident where Joe Rogan, the one time he was ever fucking pushed back on a claim. He tried to claim, he was claiming that there was like millions or hundreds of thousands or whatever of kids that get surgeries, or maybe I think it was about just puberty blockers. But I mean, then he looks it up and it was like not even remotely that. And Matt Walsh is just like, I don't know what to say. I'm a grifter, basically.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good sign. The Daily Wire is it's a good sign. It's maybe a bad sign, because we talked about it whenever it was clear they were losing money months back, that it's a sign partially that yes, this type of content is failing. It's not working anymore, but it partially at least has to do with the fact that people have been radicalized beyond it. So people that used to maybe watch Daily Wire and be cool with that or whatever, now they're like, I don't want to watch this Jew. You know what I mean? Whatever.
Yeah.
But that's not good. So,
of course, as the audience, Ben Shapiro cultivated. So
it's true.
Transgender violence going around this country.
But there have obviously been multiple transgender shooters just in the last couple of years.
I'm not denying any.
Kind of a desperate tactic number 2. So if the first one was I don't remember what was on the thing. Number 2 is in comes Michelle Knowles here The you know, the same way that like fucking what's his name, Adam Friended would do whenever Sitch would kind of get backed into a corner.
Yep.
Any sort of specific individual instance I'm talking about, this is a statistic in which you compared these numbers for all of these other populations are significantly lower than they would be with actual statistics. I was just curious, like, I want to understand, like, your process here. Why you wouldn't cite that source? Like, is it just because you know it's embarrassing that you only cited it off of, or based it off of one person? Or, like, more to the point, like, why do you have to lie to make your point? You know, why do you have to, if there's this epidemic going around, why do you have to make shit up in order to make the argument?
Well, first of all, I think as someone who believes that women have penises, you're not one to lecture people for lying.
So fucking disingenuous, man.
Yep.
Yep. Going back to the greatest hits, say the line.
Yeah,
that is not a claim that, as far as I know, Malachi made here.
Yeah.
So it's a reductive straw man deflection, I guess is what how you could describe that.
Well, it's all he has, because he's caught in fucking sharing bullshit data here.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Yeah, that's pretty good. The Abed guy. It's Michelle Knowles, rather. You know, so there's you guys know of a channel called The Soy Pill? You ever seen him?
Yes, yeah.
It's pretty good. He apparently went to at some point was invited to go do this Michael Knowles show that he does called Bar Fight or something, where, you know,
it's basically it's heavily loaded towards obviously Republican talking points and making liberals look silly, but fails to do.
The only time I ever see anything from it is whenever a liberal or whatever actually gets on there and manages to make some solid points and like kind of expose their audience to some other shit. So that's the only time I ever really see it. But I guess that's because why would anybody post their fails? But yeah, so it's Bar Fight. But what Soy Pill explains is that he went, he was flown there, right? They put him up in a decent hotel, fed him. You know what I mean? Like that, and then they get him on there, and the set's really, you know, well done and shit. And then you start looking at the sets of all their shows on Daily Wire and stuff. And apparently they have the set designer that does the set designs for, you know, Matt Walsh's fake man cave and whatnot. That person has been brought in to do their homes, the contributors' homes, like Ben Shapiro's house, as well as what was I gonna say? Oh, basically that yeah, they're very much just, it's all aesthetics, and it's so fucking lame that people fall for it. You know, Tucker Carlson sitting in his fucking log cabin and shit with tools on the wall and whatnot that he's never used. It's crazy.
I mean, it's not a surprise. I mean, people should have got. I mean, people are wise to this because we all knew that that stupid Brett Cooper set was just literally a set made out of like a teenage girl's. It was a teenage girl's bedroom. Just happened to have enough room in it for everyone. Yeah, so it's all facade, but then that's enough for a lot of people.
It is. Because a lot of people just want to have their you know, their fucking feelings confirmed and you know, regurgitated back to them. Sadly, you know, look at the fucking Rippaverse. Which, by the way, we need to maybe make sure to talk about that at some point next time. Bob, have you seen Eric's video on it or anything?
No. What is there something new?
Eric July seems to be maybe legitimately done with.
Oh, okay, yeah, I did see that. Yeah, I know.
If he's legitimately made some kind of deal with this distribution company or whatever, and he's gonna, you know, if that's what's happening, then I think he does see that. This is my way out of this shit. That he knows it was a fucking sinking ship on YouTube for him, and so he's probably been desperately trying to gain just connect some way of his comics crap to an ongoing revenue stream that he can fucking live off of. And yeah, I mean, good for fucking so long. At the same time, like, it would be good to have him not making content, not doing that shit. That's good. But I kind of don't like the idea of letting him fucking just build the Rippaverse on the shit that we know he built it on and then wash his hands of it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
pisses me off to think about a little bit.
On the other hand, I remember when I debated him and he had over 500,000 subscribers, and looking at him now, he has 483,000.
It's all because you.
Yeah, it's all me. It's all me.
I mean, jokingly, but yeah, some of it is.
Yeah, no, actually, yeah, but it's also his comic books are so fucking bad, or so.
And also, his content is fucking terrible. His takes are.
There's that too.
Absolute dog shit takes. I'm gonna have to get going in a minute. What else you guys got to look at? Talk about?
I don't have too much, but I have a stream that I will be doing on Saturday where we will do comic books and CHUDs, which will be fun.
Oh,
So,
something different, huh?
yeah, something very different. I've never talked about comic books and CHUDs before.
Right.
So, you know, everybody will be shocked at that one.
Ryan, what do you got going on? You still covering what's the show?
Rockford Files, yeah, just on a break after finishing season 5, and also I'll be doing my season 5 wrap up and then cracking onto the final series, season 6, and working on a few other bits and pieces in between as well. But mostly my actual real job, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know that feeling. I know.
How you guys feel about leopards? You know, like a leopard.
I know I wouldn't vote for them to not eat my face.
Yeah, I mean, why would you be a part of the party that's the leopards eating faces and then be surprised when they eat your face?
I had my passport. I had to get it renewed. Comes back gender marker M. Screws everything up. So there's a form in there if they made a mistake. So I fill out all the proper forms. I'm not calling anybody. I'm not calling the president. I got his personal cell.
How are you going to be literally one of the most famous trans people in the world and think that they just don't know? They don't know about it. You know what I mean? Like, no, they know. They do it on purpose.
Yeah. Listen, I don't think you should misgender Caitlyn Jenner or
No, I don't either.
that,
I
but she is
don't
also a
actually
piece of
take
shit.
pleasure.
Let's be real.
Truly a piece of shit, and I don't take pleasure in her suffering for this or anything. But at the same time, it is just a
She's asking for it at the same
of
time.
what we've fucking been saying about any kind of quisling fucking token that throws themselves into that camp because they think they're going to be safe. They're going to they're one of the good ones or whatever the fuck it is. It's not gonna matter. Eventually,
Like, she's upset her passport was marked M. It's like, that's what you fucking voted for. Just saying.
why did you put the QUE on the end? That's weird. That's like makes it seem French or something and like kind of fancy. Don't do that. Transphobic.
Transphobic.
Yeah.
Number. I'm not calling anybody. I'm going to see if I can fix this myself. And they sent it back M. They didn't change it at all. What do? This is a safety factor, okay? I can't travel internationally anymore. As we know, even to vote now, you have to have proper identification. I don't blame President Trump. I love him.
What?
Wrote a letter. The Secret Service guy said he could get it to him, put it on his desk and stuff. I haven't heard from him.
In 1985, Rock Hudson was a rich and famous movie star and a personal friend of President Ronald Reagan and his wife Nancy, and a closeted gay man living with AIDS. That summer, Rock Hudson collapsed in his Paris hotel room, and at the time, there was this French army doctor who was working on an experimental AIDS treatment, but he was basically impossible to get an appointment with, especially because Rock Hudson wasn't French. But Rock was friends with the notoriously homophobic Reagans. He'd literally gotten dinner with them.
But in this case, the Reagans said, you know what? No, he's our friend. We're going to take care of him, right? Is that what happened? Let's find out.
3 weeks before he was diagnosed with AIDS, so he figured they could pull some strings for him. So Rock's publicist sent Nancy Reagan a telegram saying, Rock has AIDS, and he's going to die in agony if he doesn't see this doctor. Nancy received it and wrote back the very same day saying, no, sorry. Quote, she did not feel this was something the White House should get into, and Rock Hudson died 9 weeks later. You can be the most privileged, the whitest, the richest, the most well-connected queer, and at the end of the day, to people who hate queers, you'll still be just a queer.
Damn.
Yeah, shit.
Yep.
So wow, thank you for that, Chris. That is interesting to note. We'll sign off on this. I don't know how I feel about it because I don't really know much about him as a person. But Ted Turner died.
I'd say he definitely had a mixed.
It's
career.
a very mixed bag. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I lean negative, but I don't like despise him. Does that make sense?
Right. So is one less billionaire. That's good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess I like what he did to helping promote movies.
That's good, right? No, sorry, bad joke.
I mean, yeah, I mean, he was married to Jane Fonda, who seems pretty based. So
she does. Wow. Well, RIP to him. Look, I feel like I have some positive, not that I think he was a good person, but in general, guess I you know what it is? I think I remember respecting him with his what was it, WCW, right? Like he would try to give it a good go to take on and did for a while. Took on fucking what's his name? That huge piece of shit.
What, Vince McMahon?
Yes, the one still alive.
Yeah. Fuck him. Fuck him.
Network. I mean, I doubt he did, but his money did, so that's good. I guess. He's the reason that CNN and TCM exists. That's kind of my knowledge of him. Film animation. Yeah. I mean, it's some things are good and some things are bad and some things are both.
Mm-hmm.
And with that wisdom, I'm gonna kick it over to Ryan. No.
No, everything I know about Ted Turner is sort of like the worst thing I know that he definitely did, and I'm sure there's worse things, is he colorized movies.
Yeah.
Black and white movies.
Oh yeah.
But then one of the people to come out against that was George Lucas, who said you shouldn't ever tamper with the original movie.
And he was right too. And
Yeah.
Well,
he's a man of his word.
And then George Lucas tampered with his movies.
Oh, did he? I haven't seen
it.
Kidding.
Well, if the rumors are true, the originals will be coming back. Is it this year or next year? Next year.
Oh, do they actually have a plan to release the originals?
There's a lot of rumors knocking around that for the 50th anniversary.
I mean, for me, I just would love a high quality version of the first one. I'm okay with the special editions of the other two.
Well, there's rumors that the original version doesn't really exist. The version that was just called Star Wars.
Yeah.
None of the episode 4 A New Hope stuff. That kind of doesn't exist. But the print that because they showed a print last year, I think it was, in London, that was, I think, in the BFI archives, that was pretty much the version that was in.
Right, I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, so there's rumors that they're going to re-release that. So I guess it depends. I have to wait and see.
Well, on that note, I hope you guys you're streaming tomorrow, right, Bob? Yeah. Yep. You said
No, just Saturday. My daughter's doing graduation stuff tomorrow.
How selfish of her.
I know. Well, my priorities are all out of whack, doing family stuff instead of streaming. The fuck.
Well, look, Tyrone's just now letting you see him again, so
that is nice of him. Yeah.
Eric July, you fucking loser.
I'm not going anywhere. I just fucking relaunched. For Canon's sake, I'm not playing around. Get over it. Like my haters, man. I get there. But these guys are so fucking invested in my failure, right? Got these gay ass dudes.
I do like that he's obviously set up a microphone on his toilet so you can clearly hear it.
Camera panning down and everything.
Yeah. Thank you for giving us the full view, Eric.
You know what I bet he's asking right now? Like, legitimately.
Give me the damn money, Glenn.
But if Glenn wants to give me the money, I'll take it.
We need the Glenn bucks.
Well, yeah, give us the Glenn bucks,
Come on.
man. Damn, where is it at?
What?
All right, y'all have a good one. To take care of each other, subscribe to whatever channel you're watching, and hop over to the other ones. Subscribe to those. Give some likes, give some comments, give some hugs, give some compliments, give some candy, and then have a good one, man.
Party on and be excellent to each other.
Imagine a giant Joe Rogan pussy right up there, elevated,
like a jellyfish.
teleported up into Joe Rogan's vagina. I want the memes of Joe Rogan's vagina. You imagine how big this must be.